Hey, I'm in 1 John, chapter 5. And I'm making this video because, one, every once in a while, a video like this needs to be made. As a reminder, and in some cases, uh, as a rebuke for somebody, you know, that, that needs to be rebuked. And, when people come out vehemently against the idea of eternal security, of course, they need to be rebuked because not only is it profoundly idiotic to attack eternal security, I mean, it's also literally antichrist. Okay, and whoop de doo, I wake up this morning and there's a guy put a couple comments on some video I made a while back, and you know he's coming up against eternal security, and you know and he's just railing against it, and he tries to belittle the idea of eternal security, and he compares it to a state farm insurance. That people that believe in eternal security, you're just like those people that buy car insurance or whatever. And I'm thinking, first of all, eternal security, it's something that's freely offered. Okay, now I've never heard of car insurance where the insurance company just offers it for free to people. Like you have to pay for car insurance, so that's a stupid comparison right off the bat. Because again, eternal security is free. Car insurance isn't. Okay. And then second of all, you know, if you don't have eternal security, you don't have Jesus Christ. Um, and here in 1 John chapter 5, verse 20, it says, "And we know that the Son of God has come and hath given us an understanding that we may know him," that is true, "and we are in him," that is true, "even in his Son, Jesus Christ. This is the true God and eternal life." So right there, the Bible's saying that Jesus Christ is the true God and eternal life. Okay. And of course, in the same chapter, famously, at least on my channel, like I talk about this a lot. You know, it says that you can know that you have eternal life, and that the people that know that they have eternal life, they have the witness to themselves. Okay, and that the people that don't believe the record that God gave of His Son are making out God to be a liar. Right? They're accusing God of lying because they don't believe the record that God gave of His Son. And verse 11 says, "And this is the record that God hath given to us eternal life, and this life is in His Son." So this little Antichrist came on my channel and basically tried to belittle the gospel and Jesus Christ. Okay. And for some reason, these people that think that eternal security is of the devil, and I'm just looking for last society, what side, our side, they remind me of those Pharisees, where the ones that accused Jesus of doing miracles by Beelzebub. And they were basically calling Jesus a devil. And it's almost like that with the people now that think that eternal security is a doctrine of devils. Okay. And no, it's not a doctrine of devils. It's a biblical doctrine. And the Bible literally calls Jesus Christ the true God and eternal life. And the Bible also literally says, right, he that believeth on the Son of God hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. And this is the record, that God hath given to us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. He that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son of God hath not life. These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the Son of God, that you may know that you have eternal life, and that you may believe on the name of the Son of God. Look, and then in verse 12, based on the context, this life that's talked about in verse 12, it's eternal life. Okay, and if you don't have Jesus Christ, you don't have eternal life, and if you don't have eternal life, you don't have Jesus Christ. It's not that hard to understand. Unless you hate God and you're Antichrist, like this guy named Patrick Baptist, who, and with Baptists, it's like a complete toss-up now. Like they're, a lot of people that are Baptists now, like they reject eternal security. It's kind of amazing, but that's just the world we live in now. And look here in Hebrews 7:25. This is in reference to Jesus Christ. It says, wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth and maketh intercession for them. So if he's able to save people to the uttermost, and not only that, but he's currently making intercession for them, and he ever lived, like he's alive right now making intercession for believers, right? And the Bible teaches that we have an advocate, that's Jesus Christ. And and also here, this is the same chapter. We're talking about how the law made nothing perfect, but people want to reject what Jesus Christ accomplished on the cross, and they want to reject God's offer of grace. They want to reject eternal security. They want to reject Jesus Christ. And they want to demand that God accepts them based on their own merit. They want to hold up a filthy rag and basically spit in God's face and say, you better accept me because I'm a really good boy. No, you're not a good boy. You're an abomination that needs to be saved. Okay. And look, in verses like this, like in Hebrews 7:20, like if you can look at this verse and conclude that's not talking about once saved, always saved, that's not talking about eternal security, then you're just totally blind, and you don't believe the Bible. That's your problem. You don't believe God. You don't believe the Bible. And you just have a hatred of the God of the Bible. And you don't like the fact that he's able to save people that you don't like. Right? That drove the Pharisees mad. Every time some prostitute or something got saved, the Pharisees blew a gasket, And I'll end it here in John 3. Jesus Christ told Nicodemus that whosoever believeth in him, right, in Jesus Christ, of course, not Nicodemus, but he told this to Nicodemus, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Those are two synonyms, right? They're interchangeable. And by the way, There's this weird preacher named Jack Hyles, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but there's this weird preacher named Jack Hyles that tried to teach that there's a difference between eternal life and everlasting. And he basically tried to teach that one is like by works. Freaking heretic. Okay. Bunch of garbage. Anyways, something that's eternal, that lasts forever, it's everlasting. And something that's everlasting means it's not going away. Okay? It's not going away, which means you can't lose it. And in John chapter 10, Jesus reiterates the promise that you can't lose it. Okay? It says nobody's going to pluck you out of the Father's hand and in his hand. Okay? Nobody can pluck you out of his hand. Seems pretty safe to me. Okay? And remember, by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, and not of works, lest any man should boast. And that's not like car insurance, okay? Because again, car insurance you have to pay for. The grace of God you can't pay for. The salvation of God, that God's offer, you don't pay for that. It's free. It's a gift. Gifts are things you don't pay for. Okay? If you're a receiver of a gift. If you're a recipient of a gift, you don't have to pay for it. Because it's free. Anyways, these people that reject eternal security, they're rejecting Jesus Christ, like plain and simple.